In front of you is the agenda for today, what's going on. And then underneath is a light purple sheet. That is our contact form. And you know I need that filled out, the top part especially. Name, cell phone number, okay, if you'll do that for me. If you'll just leave it there, we'll pick them up after the meeting is over. All right, we're going to start off with Julie Fuquay from our foundation office.
Good afternoon. I just came to this building for the first time. Your decorations for homecoming look great. Ms. Tyler says that this group did them, so I was very impressed. They look wonderful, so y'all did a really good job. Very creative. I'm from Chipola Foundation. We are directly across the street from the administration building. Take one and you'll pass it down, please, sir. More than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Just walk across the street. If this doesn't make sense or you have questions, we're glad to help you. This application is the McClendon Educational Trust. We do this by the semester. So coming up, you can apply for summer 1 semester by March the 15th, summer 2 by May 15th, or for fall will be June 8th deadline. This is by the semester. This is the only scholarship we have by the semester. So if you want to come summer 1 and you want to come fall, then you need to fill out 2 applications. But it's going to be a little bit different information because the tax year will change and your grades will change. So if you want to apply for summer 1, obviously you don't have your spring grades yet, so you would use your grades through fall semester. If you don't have 24 hours or more, you'll have to have your high school transcript and your Chipola transcript as well. You don't have to have an official Chipola transcript where you check your grades. You can print out a transcript from there. For us, that's sufficient, and you can make a copy of your high school one if you have a copy already at home. It does not have to be an official sealed up one. The McClendon Educational Trust is based on financial need as well as merit. So they're going to ask for financial information for your household and then obviously your grades. You have to have a 2.0 or better from high school or any college work attempted in order to apply. The first page is name, address. It's pretty basic on the front. It asks for your major and it asks for which semester you're planning to apply for this fund. So remember, this is by the semester, so you have to make a check mark in one of them. Section 2, it says please include a letter with this application. This is really your interview with our scholarship committee because they don't get to meet you face to face. So you need to tell them about your activities. You need to tell them about community, church activities, school activities. Tell them what you aspire to be, what your goals are. Anything that you think they might want to ask you face to face, put in the letter. And make sure that the dog doesn't run across your letter or you don't lay french fries down on the letter. I mean, it is your representation of yourself. It's your interview. So make sure it's spelled right and that it presents well on your behalf. Section 3 is just information about the transcript that we've already talked about. I'll give you a demerit later. You have to have the transcripts that have to come in with this. The section on page 2 is about your GPA, and then you just have to pick which fits you. Are you just a new high school graduate, or do you have college hours? You've been to other colleges. You fill out the section that applies to you and put the GPA information. And of course, the GPA information and hours that you put in the boxes really need to match what your transcript is, because the committee would get very frustrated if they look and they say, oh, she says she has 60 hours, but I only see 20 on here. There must be something missing. And if they think there's something missing, it goes in another stack and they can't fund it because there's questions. So make sure that the information matches up. The last page is the financial information. It asks how many in your household and it asks for income. So if you have 5 in your household and your parents filed income tax return and you filed a separate one, then you would need a copy of all 3 of them to put on here because that's income for the whole household. And then it also asks for expenses for the whole household. So everyone would add their expenses together. And it gives some columns for suggestions about housing and groceries and utilities. And they're not going to go to Florida Public Utilities or West Florida Electric and pull your electric bill. But just try to average. If you know that your house pays $120 a month for electricity, multiply it by 12. Just try to get a ballpark dollar amount because they're wanting to see that, okay, if your household made $30,000 and it says your expenses were $50,000, they'll say, oops, there's a problem there. They're spending a lot more than they make and they're probably not being honest with their income. they're trying to see that it's realistic. And then by the same token, if they says your income is $40,000 and you only show $10,000 worth of expenses, then the scholarship committee is going to say, well, they probably didn't think about their expenses very much, or gosh, they have $20,000 left over. They don't need any scholarship money. So just make sure the way that you're writing the information down makes sense and it's accurate and it reflects what's really going on in your household. And then it asks how many hours you plan to register for. So all of that has to come back with the application, the completed application, your letter, your transcripts, and the income tax return. And that's for the McClendon Educational Trust. And that may seem like a lot, but once you do it one time, it's not that hard. And we're glad to help you, or if you want to bring documents in, but just don't wait until the deadline day. Because on deadline day, on March 15th, there's going to be 30 other people there that have 40 pieces of paper in their hand and they don't add up and they need help. So if you need help, just don't wait till the deadline day, because that's a crazy day and you may or may not be able to get everything together if you're missing something. So just come the week before. Don't wait until that day. So this is accurate. These are new. You can use these. The other ones I'm not giving you copies of because they're not updated yet. We probably will have the new ones out and up on the website around the week of March 13th. But they always look like this. There's going to be a yellow and a blue list. The yellow one I'll talk about first. These are ones that are done directly through the foundation. The list looks very similar. You can see that there's names, there's descriptions of all the scholarships. Some are particular by major, some are particular by what high school you went to, some are particular by maybe what even club you might have been in high school. But you have to read through and see which ones you meet criteria for. Some will say graduating seniors. Well, if you're here now today, you're not a graduating senior anymore. So you just have to be careful when you read through, because there's a lot that can be for any major, for any student, but there's a few that will be specific for graduating seniors. So just read through. On the yellow list, if you qualify for any of them on here, then there's one application, and it's on the back. That would apply for any of these. You don't have to specify which one. The scholarship committee will know based on the description which ones you meet the qualifications for. You fill it out. Again, it's the same thing as your transcripts. Again, if you don't have 24 hours, then you have to have your high school transcript as well. If you've been to another college, you have to have a copy of that college transcript as well. The same letter. So once you write one scholarship letter, it's good. You just update it if there's anything's changed, if this is a later application deadline. But use the same letter. And then this requires 2 letters of recommendation. It can be from a teacher, it can be an employer, it could be from a family friend. It does not specify, just 2 folks that could say nice things about you that you would be able to use a scholarship wisely and you would be a good candidate. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it's also nice when you ask somebody for a letter of recommendation, if you have a resume or if you can type one up that lists your activities, it helps them to be able to write a letter of recommendation. If you put your GPA on there and your what you want to major in, it helps people when they need to write a letter of recommendation. So again, when this comes out, hopefully about the week of March 13th, come pick up a new one or get it off the website. Read through. If there's something you think you're qualified for, then fill out this application that's on the back of it's always on yellow paper, but it's called Directly Through the Foundation. The other list that will be updated is outside our organization. This means that these applications are going to be sent away to scholarship committees. A few do come back to the foundation, but it's only because I'm putting them in a box and somebody's going to come by and pick them up. Most of these go away. So you have to read through, and again, they look very similar. Some are specific by major, some are specific by county or activities. You read through, and what I would recommend is like put a check mark out in the margin if you think you qualify for it. It's a long list, and on the back is an application form. So I would go back through when you finish and say, okay, how many check marks do I think I qualify for? If I found 6 in here that I think I would meet the qualifications for, then you need 6 applications. And to me, the smart thing to do is where it says fill in the blank up here for what scholarship, don't fill that in yet. Go through, put your name, address, your GPA, all of that information on here, and then go make 5 copies of it. And then on each one, go back and write Mariana Rotary or write Graceville Kiwanis or whatever in the blank so you don't have to duplicate your work. That same set of transcripts, that same letter that you've already written, you can update it and put it on here, and those same 2 letters of recommendation. And sometimes you might want to ask the people that are writing the letter of recommendation, you know, thank you for writing my letter, here's my resume, here's my information, so you can write the letter. I want to apply for 5 scholarships, so if you don't mind, if it's not too inconvenient, could you give me 5 copies of the letter so it's original on letterhead? It doesn't have to be, but that looks nice. That's a nice tip to impress people that you have original letters and they have original signatures and all like that. And that's something too about your letter from you. You should sign it. I mean, it is a letter to a scholarship committee. It's like a business letter, and at the end, when you put your name, it's nice to be able to put a signature on it. Those are just little things that sometimes will set your application apart, that they want it to look nice and it's a good representation of you. But how many ever you find on this blue list, make that many copies of this application, and then go back and fill in the name of the scholarship, and then you've got all your information already on here. And then you mail it where it says. The deadline for most of our fall scholarships will be June 8th. There's a few in here that will close out in May. Not that many of them, but there are a few. So when you're reading through, pay attention and see if it's an earlier deadline. If there isn't a different deadline, it'll say at the top it's going to be due June 8th, which corresponds to the last day for this one as well, for June 8th for fall semester. So if you plan to enroll for next year, there's a lot of opportunities. Chipola, for the size college we have, is very, very fortunate. We have many, many clubs and organizations and families over the years that have established scholarship endowments, and then other clubs that just give money by the year and say, here, please help a student with it. So we're very fortunate that there's a lot of money that can be awarded. The lady that, Violet McClendon, this is in memory of, her house is right by the foundation. She lived across the street from the college. From part of her estate, she sends money each year. She's deceased, but she awards money to the college to award for scholarships. So this, for a fall or spring semester, may award 100 scholarships. So it's a lot of money, and it's not just, even though this is one piece of paper, it represents a lot of different scholarships each semester. So you're fortunate, you have a college that is very blessed to have a lot of help for students, and you just have to read through, follow directions, and there's lots of people that are willing to help you. Just come in, just don't wait until the last minute, because that's when you get in trouble for not having the right documents, and so you don't want to do the work and then not be able to be considered in the end. But come over, pick the updated ones up for yellow and blue in a couple of weeks, or they'll be on the college website. You can just print them out. We're glad to help any of you, and yes, sir.
I'm an early admission student, and I was wondering, do I have to do anything special to do McClendon for summer 1?
Are you graduating this?
Yes,
so you will not be graduated for summer 1. Which high school are you attached to? Schneeds, okay. So you're an early admit, and you would be a 2017 graduate. Okay. Summer 1 is weird because you can't be dual enrolled or early admit, and you're not graduated from high school yet. You can apply for scholarship money for summer 2 because it says you have to be a high school graduate.
Okay.
So that falls into a weird category for summer 1.
Good question.
What's the difference between summer 1 and summer 2?
They're both 6 weeks. Summer 1 starts the very beginning of May and will run through the end of June and middle of June, and then summer 2 will start at the very end of June and run through about the first week in August. So it's 2 different 6-week sessions, and different classes will be offered in each summer session.
Okay.
And there's a McClendon for summer 1 and summer 2.
Correct.
Right?
So depending upon what class you want to take and when it's offered, you would apply for summer 1 or summer 2. So you need to look at the list of classes and see which one you would need to go to.
Thank you.
And can they be awarded for both?
Yes. If you want to come to both summer sessions, You can. But again, you have to pay attention to the deadline and put in 2 different applications.
Okay, so could you repeat the date again, like?
They're right on the
It's on
front.
that sheet.
March 15th for summer 1 and May 15th for summer 2. And June 8th for fall. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Let's give her a hand. Thank you so much.
I'm Beverly Hembright with the Financial Aid Office here at Chipola. And is there, if you have not already completed your 2016-17 application, like in your case, where you're just going to come for summer 2, where you're actually going to come for summer 1, but you won't be graduated for summer until summer 2, then you'll have to, you won't be eligible for summer 1, but your aid will start on summer 2. So, and our deadline is April the, let's see, for the April the 18th for the summer application for both summer 1 and 2, and then July 26th for the fall application. Okay. And then he's going to cover the rest.